Lakers versus the Miami Heat in about 2 hours. This is your pregame special from Mikey B off work. You know what it is. Sunday, it's fun day, and we're kind of relaxing, sitting back, thinking about the climate and what is a now foregone conclusion. Yes, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. If that Bam Adebayo or Dragic is injured tonight, barring a miraculous Tyler Hero 40-point game with a Jimmy Butler 40-point game, it's going to be tough sailing here. And I'm just going to give the Heat the best opportunity to win as I go over their lineup. But in the headlines, it's all about KUZMA. It's all about the role players. You know, fans always got to find a way to hate. That's just life. That's just human beings. We always got to find something, and right now, you know what it is. KUZMA on the line, talking that darnish right now. They're saying Kyle Kuzma shouldn't even receive a ring. Almighty. First two games for Kuzma weren't so good. I believe he scored 3 points and 12 points respectively, which is not what you expect from a future all-star is what they deemed him to be. They let everybody go but him. But I'm going to tell you, with this team and the star power, there's certain things that players do that may not be seen in the stat sheet. And you're going to say, well, he needs to at least score and hit the three ball. Yeah, that goes for about 90% of the Lakers outside of Anthony Davis. Okay? They have not shot the three ball well. Could you imagine if that ball was falling down this summer? But they played defense well. And when you talk about decoys, Kyle Kuzma is that. Let's get into the stats, and I'll talk about KUZMA. I'll talk about the role players and kind of what LeBron James does to the role players when he comes in the game. Let's look at the team. No talk right now of anyone being out. Let's see the current news. Lakers were shocked seeing Anthony Davis calling out LeBron James. I told you it was Anthony Davis's team. I've told you that, okay? Yeah, will Bam Adebayo and Goran Dragic play? Lord God. I mean, you got to understand what it is when you go into a championship game, when you're pushing for a championship. These opportunities are not like, oh, we'll make it next year. No, the team's going to come out much stronger next year. Do you understand? They're going to be a little bit stronger next year. So you have to understand what exactly is happening with the dynamics of the team now and assist the risk of injury, barring a torn Achilles or torn ACL. Let the boys run. Let's talk about Jimmy Butler there. Tyler Hero's going to be there. Adebayo questionable. Dragic is questionable based upon the news. Duncan Robinson still there. Iguodala still there. Leonard, Jay Crowder, Olynyk, Nunn, Haslam, Jones, who we haven't seen much of. I'm going to start talking about guys that need to come in. What about a little bit of Solomon Hill? What had happened to the boy? Why not bring him in if you have an injury to Adebayo? Maybe go some small ball, bring in the Hill. I don't see a problem there. Derrick Jones Jr. is another man that needs some ball play, some ball time. What will happen with Derrick Jones Jr.? If there is allegedly an injury to Adebayo, he will see a lot more minutes. And I think the game goes to the outside, pick and roll, jump shot. And the main guy that will have to show up, and let me dive in, if Adebayo and Dragic is out, Kendrick Nunn, my man right here, the out of nowhere kid. I just watched some highlights of Mike James, a former NBA player, not Mike James, the ball-headed guy, the Mike James that played for Phoenix. And I said, it's timing. It's opportunity. And even though the Miami Heat more than likely are not going to win a championship this year, there is an opportunity to show yourself for potentially getting a big contract next year, Miamingo. So Kendrick Nunn, my friend, if you want an opportunity to showcase yourself and get some dollars, you need to show out if any of those guys are out. It's the opportunity of a lifetime. I like Kendrick Nunn in the pick and roll situation. And if he has a big game, I'm going to straight up say, if Kendrick Nunn has a big game and Derrick Jones gives you 15 and 8, okay, and then maybe Olynyk gives you something more, maybe some Boston Olynyk, he can give you 18 and 6. I'm not going to lie to you. Olynyk is slept on. He's not as athletic, obviously, as Bam Adebayo. He doesn't bring the defense from a blocking perspective like Bam Adebayo. But when you talk about offensive talent, his repertoire is a little bit deeper. I'm telling you, Olynyk is a beast from the three-point line for his size and can definitely fill in for a game to get the big guys healthy. If that is the case, I highly, highly freaking doubt that those two guys are not going to play tonight because it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. That's how you got to treat a championship run. But if you have to, why not? Why not get some dirt on the boy, get Olynyk in there, get none more touches, get Jones going. I think those three, Solomon Hill and Spurts, those three can make some life out of you. And, Kizzy Unkampala was a high draft pick, a solid defender, really hasn't seen too much minutes. 6'8", 215, 32nd pick, high pick. All right, he should be a defensive anchor for this team. They need to play him a little bit more. I love rookies. I love young talent because there's so much future there. So that's why I always pick on those kids because I think there's an opportunity. And I know how it is when coaches don't play these rookies and suddenly it's 5 years later and you say, what had happened? What had happened? The coach didn't play him. So anyway, and he probably couldn't because he had too much talent at the time. Jimmy Butler got to do his thing. He's not really coming alive in this series. I don't like what I'm seeing from him actually in this series. But, solid Jimmy Butler. The problem is championship ball, my friends, you can't be solid. So that's the other issue there. Let's jump over to the Lakers side. Let's take a peek. Matter of fact, let me step back. Let's step back and what happened in Game 2. Because this was a blowout. So people talking trash. Let's see what happened. Butler, 25, 13, and 8. All you can do. Crowder was 12 and 7. Myers Leonard came in. Don't know why, but you know why, right? It was Bam Adebayo, and you saw what happened, right? Derrick Jones didn't play much. None did play. 29, 13 points, 4 rebounds, Iguodala 7 and 2. Solomon Hill, no minutes. Not enough for these guys. All right. Look at what Olynyk did. 24-9. I was talking trash, and it came true. I did not look at the stats before. 24 and 9 for Olynyk. He can do this. I'm telling you, he can do this. They need some more out of Derrick Jones Jr. and Solomon Hill. Let me see what happened in Game 1 and what happened on that guy for the Heat. Butler, same deal, right? Standard output. Adebayo, 8 and 4, 21 minutes. And then Nunn had 18. Nunn's trying to get a contract. Solomon Hill, 4 and 3, and then Derrick Jones Jr., 2 and 1. Not enough from Derrick Jones Jr. Gotta play one of the rooks. You gotta play one of the rooks as an X factor. Now, let me jump over to the Lakers after we looked at the stats. I'm gonna start with Game 1. All right. Game freaking 1. What did we get? Anthony Davis, 34. James, 25. Caldwell Pope, 13. I'm telling you, as bad as he shoots, that's a gift. 13, I'll take that. Danny Green, 11. I'll take that. Rondo, just a general. Caruso, I'm telling you, not 6th man of the year, but, man, if there was a 7th man of the year, if there was a 7th man of the year, he would be it. Kyle Kuzma, 3 and 8. That's what they're angry about. All right. Marcus Morris, 8 and 3. So you gotta advise, man, with this type of J.R. Smith. Lord have mercy, get the man some minutes. I mean, they didn't need him, but I guess his good luck is there too. There is a good luck theory there with J.R. Smith. Wherever he goes, they kind of start winning. That said, Kuzma's playing a problem here. Right? You know what the problem is? It is LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Markieff Morris. There's 3 guys kind of playing the roles that he would play. He never has really got comfortable. He's not one of those guys that needs the ball in his hands, but he kind of needs the ball in his hands. What do you expect? He's now a role player. I mean, guys that are petitioning against the kid, no, he hasn't shown up from the 3-point line. His percentages have been low. However, let's go look at that. Can I get the percentages? Let's get the stats. Can I see the stats for the game last night? Miami Heat. Oh, I can't. I don't know. I'm sorry. Oh man, they got me, man. They got me. They got me, bro. They got me. 1 for 7. Oh, he got me. I'll shut up. 3 for 8 the next game. So he has some touches. He has to give me this. 4 and 7. I'll take it. I'll even take a 3 for 7. But obviously, a star output. You want to at least put up 13 to 14 shots a game. I would love to see if there's a game that he's had that. What he scored. Look at this game. Had 10. I'm just going for the best one. Yes, I am. 14 points. It's obviously he contributed. He's averaged, is this regular season or this total? No, I wanted the playoff stats and where his playoff stats were. It's not showing that now, but I was trying to do the math on this. I mean, that looks like a good 10 points a game, 11 points a game. Rebound-wise, I love the output for that 3-point game. 8 rebounds he contributed there. I'll take that. Okay, there's really no valid reason for you to put him in that realm because of his performances. I think he's solid. I just think there's too much star power in front of him. He's shooting 7 to 10 shots just like a role player. I mean, a little bit more than a role player, a 6-man. I think that's good enough. If you want to go on anybody, even though he looks good defensively and looks athletic, I've said this a million times in all my videos, Caldwell Pope. I mean, he's starstruck by LeBron and these guys. Those guys do it to you. The guy who won't give a shit. I'm gonna just be straight up. You put Dion Waiters in there. I tell you, put Dion in there. That man gonna be shooting from half court. He ain't gonna look LeBron. What's your problem, bro? I mean, that's the guy you want in there because he doesn't give a shit. Dion Waiters does, and JR probably doesn't give a shit. He'll try to be nice, but JR truthfully doesn't give a shit. You need a don't give a shit guy to play with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. The guys that'll yell back at him a little bit or give him a stare. Like, relax, bro. You my Brody, but I gotta put in some work as well. So I think Caldwell Pope is all struck. I'm gonna be straight up with you. So no validation there. They need to go with the same lineup, kind of going a tangent and saying they want the petition to have KUZMA off. I wanted to kick off with that a little bit, talking about the Lakers. But at this time, they're just running great, man. It's too much. Too much. Brown and Davis is enough. I mean, literally throw anyone with them against the Heat. It's too much for the East Coast. Once they got out of the West, it was a wrap. It's over. It's over, folks. Barring an injury from one of those two guys, it's a wrap. Dwight Howard's coming alive in the starting lineup, giving them some, took everything away from my man McGee. I like JaVale McGee, but he's taking everything away from those guys. So it's pretty tough right now. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I would bring this entire squad back if you want them because now I would get some role players for the 3-point shot. I'm sure there's some folks available, but I would bring this whole squad back. I'm really worried about KUZMA and his brain right now, being in this situation, his contract situation. I think he might try to jump shit. And they may be able to get another bet. You know what? They may get both of the twins, the Morris twins in, and that'll be equal to what KUZMA is bringing to the table. And let KUZMA star out somewhere else. Let him grow. He's not growing here, okay? He's learning, but he's not growing. He needs the ball. If he doesn't have the ball, shooting up 18 to 19 shots a game, it's not going to be a nice stat line for him, and he doesn't have the opportunity here. For the Lakers, it looks like they're going for their ring. LeBron James has cemented himself as probably top 3 all-time best players. I don't care what nobody tells me. With what his stat line, the teams that he's gone to and brought championships with, even though this is Anthony Davis's team, and I don't think he minds anyone saying that, you got to give respect to man at 36 years old, 35 years old, doing what he's doing. Incredible performance from him and especially Anthony Davis. And let me tell you, the game-changing moment for this team, the true MVP no one's going to talk about, is Rajon Rondo. When Rajon Rondo came back, the dynamic of this team changed. Everything was on set, on point. He's a coach on the court. Rajon Rondo should be the MVP. He talks in different ways, and it's not always with points and assists. It's brain knowledge on the court, basketball IQ as they call it, and he's the top of the game there. So we're going to see a championship. I'm going to start talking about the draft. I'm so done with this playoffs. I'm going to go into the draft. We're going to talk about who's up next. The draft is pretty weak. It's sad. There's players that last year didn't even get drafted or over in Europe that are probably crying right now like, man, I should have waited a year. But we'll talk about who's there and What potential star power is there? I think James Wiseman is the only Anthony Davis-like type athlete. That's what I'm talking about, superstar in the draft. But there's other players people are talking about, LaMelo Ball, all that stuff. We'll get into that. Anthony Edwards. We'll talk about that as well. Off Work Sports and sign off. Peace.